Muito bom dia a todos os telespectadores do canal Macau da TDM. Iniciamos aqui uma série de transmissões em direto relativas à 14ª Assembleia Nacional Popular, que hoje tem a sua sessão de abertura em Pequim, sessão que deverá começar dentro de cerca de 10 minutos. E ao longo dos próximos dias o canal Macau da TDM vai transmitir em direto vários momentos desta sessão da 14ª Assembleia Nacional Popular. Lembramos que Macau é representado por 12 deputados que foram eleitos no passado mês de dezembro. Eles estão em Pequim a participar nesta reunião. O mesmo se passa com o chefe do Executivo da Região Administrativa Especial de Macau, o Yatseng, que partiu para Pequim e que também participará nesta sessão de abertura e deverá regressar também no final destes dias de trabalho para assistir à sessão de encerramento. Connosco temos hoje a jornalista da CCTV, Yang Tan Li, com quem vamos estar à conversa ao longo desta emissão. Muito bom dia. Yang Tan Li fala perfeitamente português e começamos por esta emissão, talvez por a conhecer melhor. Fale-nos um pouco sobre si.
Bom dia, João. Bom dia a todos. Prazer participar da live hoje. Sou Yang Tan Li, correspondente chinesa. Já trabalhei 5 anos no Brasil, 2 anos na África, incluindo 1 ano em Angola. Minha especialidade na universidade, de fato, é a língua portuguesa. Escolhi fazer este curso porque minha família disse que vai ter muito futuro se eu falo português. Acho que a família está certa, né? Estou muito feliz hoje. Estou aqui com vocês. João.
Muito bem, muito obrigado. Ficamos a conhecer melhor esta jornalista que nos vai acompanhar ao longo destes dias nesta emissão. Ontem teve início a Conferência Consultiva Política do Povo Chinês. Hoje começa a sessão plenária da Assembleia Nacional Popular. No fundo, o que é que estas duas reuniões, em sua opinião, vão trazer de novo à vida política chinesa?
Assembleia Popular Nacional e Conferência Consultiva Política, ou em resumo, 2 sessões, são realizados ao mesmo período na China, no começo da primavera, né? A gente fala que primavera é uma estação de novo começo por ano. Então, podemos tratar as 2 sessões como as pessoas na liderança do país estão fazendo um resumo por ano passado e uma preparação para o ano novo. Esta tradição, de fato, já tem existido desde o ano 1959. Quando eu trabalhava no Brasil e apresentei 2 sessões, o pessoal lá me disse que não tem atividade política parecida no Brasil. Eles acreditam que as 2 sessões mostraram que a China é um país que presta atenção ao planejamento e à continuidade política. 2 sessões neste ano, acho que há alguns eventos importantes que merecem nossa atenção. Em primeiro lugar, trata-se a primeira 2 sessões após o 20º Congresso Nacional do Partido Comunista da China. Vai ter a estreia dos novos representantes da Assembleia Popular Nacional e os novos membros da Conferência Consultiva Política. Serão definidos nova liderança das instituições estatais, incluindo cargos importantes como o presidente do país, primeiro-ministro e outros. Além de novo grupo da liderança, a comunidade internacional presta mais atenção às políticas econômicas da China, porque a China é a 2ª maior economia do mundo. Depois da otimização das medidas de prevenção contra a Covid, já estamos vendo a economia doméstica chinesa se recuperando. Em seguida, como a China pode se abrir ainda mais, impulsionando a economia mundial? Isso é o que todos querem saber. João.
Muito bem. São 2 reuniões que decorrem em paralelo, são 2 órgãos que representam a totalidade da nação chinesa, mas eles são diferentes. A Conferência Consultiva Política do Povo Chinês, a Assembleia Nacional Popular, têm deveres, têm poderes que são diferentes. Podes ajudar-nos a compreender um pouco a diferença entre as 2?
Quando eu estava na escola, uma pergunta sempre aparecia no exame da ciência política qual é o órgão máximo do poder estatal na China, a resposta correta é a Assembleia Popular Nacional. Neste ano, há um total de quase 3.000 representantes da Assembleia Popular Nacional. Entre eles, tem funcionários públicos, trabalhadores, acadêmicos, membros do Partido Comunista e de outros partidos. Tem representantes de minorias étnicas de Macau. Eu acho que Macau tem eleito 12 representantes, se eu não me engano. Por que se cobra tão ampla, né? Porque seu dever é legislação e supervisão da Constituição e das leis importantes, é eleger grupo de dirigentes das instituições nacionais e decidir sobre as grandes questões do país. Essas tarefas devem refletir a vontade das pessoas em todas as regiões e setores. Os representantes nacionais são eleitos pelos Assembleias Populares Inferiores. No caso, os representantes municípios e condados são eleitos diretamente pelo povo. Como eu trabalhando sempre no exterior, né? E a minha empresa e a comunidade onde eu moro entraram em contato comigo e me pedem para voltar. Se não for possível, tinha que confiar a alguém formalmente de voltar ou abster-se em nome de mim. Quanto à Conferência Consultiva Política, a sua composição inclui pessoas de mais de 30 setores, falamos. Por exemplo, cada partido é um setor. O Partido Comunista da China é um setor e o Comitê Revolucionário do Partido Kuomintang é um outro setor. Tem também setor de religião, setor de esportes. O conhecido ator chinês Jackie Chan, ele tem outra identidade, ou seja, é um membro da Conferência Consultiva Política. Ele pertence de setor de cultura e arte. As suas principais funções são participação na deliberação e administração de assuntos estatais e a supervisão democrática.
Este ano de 2023 é um ano particularmente importante, é um ano que decorre após a realização, como já referiste, do 20º Congresso Nacional do Partido Comunista da China, mas é também o primeiro ano após 3 anos de pandemia, em que a China teve medidas de controle epidémico muito rigorosas. Deverá ser também um ano de relançar, de crescimento da economia chinesa. Certamente que esses serão alguns dos temas que serão abordados no relatório que hoje vai ser apresentado, quer do ponto de vista de balanço, quer do ponto de vista de olhar para a frente, para aquilo que vai acontecer.
Depois que a China otimizou e ajustou as medidas de prevenção, vimos imediatamente a prosperidade da economia durante o Festival da Primavera. Este ano, eu notei bilheteria nacional de 7 dias no Festival da Primavera na China ultrapassou 6,7 bilhões de yuans, ocupando o segundo lugar na história da bilheteria durante o Festival da Primavera. Meus amigos em Pequim, eles me disseram que os engarrafamentos recomeçaram. Mas esta vez eles não ficam chateados, porque isso também é um sinal de recuperação econômica. A Tailândia, por exemplo, agora onde eu moro e trabalho, está super feliz com a política cada vez mais aberta da China. O vice-primeiro-ministro Anu Tin foi até o aeroporto para receber os turistas chineses, né? Então, no relatório de trabalho do governo, que hoje vai apresentar, eu acho que vai estar na linha com a recuperação econômica chinesa. Acredito que o governo certamente proporá mais medidas para estimular a economia, incluindo a estimulação do consumo, impulsionando o desenvolvimento industrial, atraindo investimentos, incentivando a inovação. Acho que podemos prestar atenção às palavras-chave como modernização chinesa e desenvolvimento de alta qualidade. O ex-ministro, primeiro-ministro tailandês, APC, me disse uma vez em uma entrevista que as 2 sessões são uma continuação do 20º Congresso Nacional do Partido Comunista da China, no ano passado. Então, essas palavras-chave que apareceram no relatório no ano passado serão definitivamente mencionadas novamente no relatório do governo e terá mais interpretações.
Muito bem. Se pensarmos agora um pouco naquilo que é a política externa da China, um dos temas em destaque hoje a nível mundial é a situação de conflito militar na Ucrânia. A China assume-se como um dos principais atores na procura da paz, tendo apresentado um plano de paz com 12 pontos. Esse deverá também ser um dos temas que será falado durante esta reunião.
A crise da Ucrânia já tem durado um ano, né? Além das perdas da Rússia e da Ucrânia, a economia mundial também foi seriamente afetada. O Ministério das Relações Exteriores da China...
Yang Tanli, talvez interrompamos agora aqui esta conversa, porque temos já as imagens em direto que nos chegam de Pequim, da capital, do grande Palácio do Povo, onde os dirigentes nacionais entram já na sala e, portanto, prepara-se para o início desta sessão, à qual vamos assistir em direto a partir de agora. Nós voltamos à conversa logo após a apresentação do relatório.
Tá, vamos acompanhar a sessão.
Well, the NPC is happening almost at the same time as the CPPCC, the political advisory body. So we'll be bringing you live coverage of the events in the next 2 weeks.
各位代表
Fellow deputies,
第14届全国人民代表大会第一次
the
会议
first session of the 14th National People's Congress should be attended by 2,977 members.
今天的会议出席
The actual attendees
2948人
2,948, with
29人
29 deputies
出席
absent.
人数符合
The number of
法定人
attendance
数
is up to the standard.
现在我宣布
Now I declare
中华人民共和国第14届
the
全
first
国人民代
session
表大
of
会
the 14th National
第一次会
People's
议
Congress
开幕。
is officially inaugurated.
请全体
Please
起
all
立
rise.
唱
Sing
国歌
national anthem. Please be seated.
各位代表
Fellow deputies,
今天的全体会议有8项
there are 8 items on the agenda for today's
现在
meeting.
进行第一项
Let's move to the first item
审议
to deliberate the report on the work of the government.
下面请
Please
国务院
allow
总
me
理
to invite
李克强
Premier of the State Council,
做报告。
Comrade Li Keqiang, to deliver the government report.
Fellow deputies, the term of this government is about to come to a close. On behalf of the State Council, I will now report to you on the work of the government for your deliberation and approval, and also for comments from members of the National Committee of the CPPCC. First, a review of our work in 2022 and over the past 5 years. The year 2022 was a year of great importance in the history of the Communist Party of China and our country. The party successfully convened its 20th National Congress, during which drew up its inspiring blueprint for building China into a modern socialist country in all respects. In the face of high winds and choppy waters in the international environment and challenging tasks in promoting reform, development, and stability at home, the Party Central Committee, with Communist Xi Jinping at its core, brought together the Chinese people of all ethnic groups and led them in meeting difficulties head-on. We acted on the requirements of responding effectively to COVID-19, maintaining economic stability and ensuring security and development, and intensified macro regulations. As a result, we stabilized the economy, steadily enhanced development quality, and maintained overall social stability, and secure new and hard-won achievements in our country's development. Over the past year, China's economy was impacted by COVID-19 and other domestic and international factors beyond our expectations. However, under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee, we carried out COVID-19 response and pursued economic and social development in an effectively and well-coordinated way, and we improved and just response measures in view of virus variation and evolving dynamics of epidemic prevention and control. Confronted with new downward pressure on the economy, we acted decisively and made timely adjustment, made use of policy tools kept in reserve over the recent years, adopt predetermined policies, and remain firm in advancing supply-side structural reform. We unveil and implement policies and measures to stabilize the economy, formulate plans for task controlling overall economic stability, set up supervision and support to ensure policy implementation. And we give priority to ensure stable growth. The GDP over the year grew by 3%, and a total of 12.06 million urban jobs were added with the year, and survey urban unemployment rate fell to 5.5%. And CPI rose by 2%, and total volume of trading goods rose by 7.7%. The deficit to GDP ratio was kept at 2.8%, and the central government revenue and expenditure were in line with the budget projections, with expenditure slightly lower than budget figure. Basic equilibrium was maintained in balance of payments, and RMB exchange rate remained stable relative to other major global currencies. And the grain output reached 685 million, an increase of 3.7 million metric tons. Overcoming great difficulties and challenges, we successfully maintained overall stable economic performance, and such achievements are a testament for the tremendous resilience of China's economy. We step up relief efforts, enterprise facing difficulties in operation and productions, and impact by COVID-19 and other factors. And last year, the VAT credit funds exceed 2.4 trillion yuan, and newly implemented tax and fee cuts around to more than 1 trillion yuan, and postponement were introduced for tax and fee repayment of 750 billion yuan. We provide guidance to financial institutions on increasing credit supply and lowering financial costs. An average interest rate on new enterprise loan fell to the lowest level, and we also injected fresh vitalities into the market through reform. And MSMEs and self-employed individuals on various sectors have benefited. To address lack of effective demand, we adopt a combination of measures to expand investment, stimulate consumption, stabilize foreign trade. And consumer spending were hit hard last year, and the 2 batches of totaling 740 billion yuan to replenish the capital for major projects were issued. We also speed up project screening, and in 2022, investment in infrastructure has increased by 9.4% and 9.1% respectively. And we have also reduced the vehicle purchase tax to boost spending on automobiles. We also have adopted financial measures to meet people's demand and stabilize employment. We have also assisted special fund in terms of the employment assistance.
全球通胀高企带来的影响，以粮食和能源为重点，做好保供稳价，不时
抢
抓粮食播种和收获，保障正常。
We have also, in face of global surge of inflation, we strive to ensure market supply and stable prices, particularly those of food and energy.
全球高通胀的背景下，
And last year, global inflation rocketed to a record high, and it's not easy for us to maintain a steady price in terms of our CPI.
生活困难增多，强化基本民生保障，阶段性扩大。
We have also expanded this scope for the well-being of the people.
失业人员发放
We have also issued insurance to the people that are living in difficulties, and altogether we provide subsidies for more people on low incomes, benefiting about 67 million in all. And the consumption, our consumer demand, market distribution, industrial production, business expectation have all markedly improved, and our economy is staging a steady recovery on demonstrating vast potential and momentum for further growth. Fellow deputies, the past 5 years have been truly momentous and remarkable. Under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, we have met numerous tests, including accelerated changes on the international landscape, the COVID-19, and the domestic economic slowdown. We have won the critical battle against poverty and finished building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and realize the first centenary goal and embark on a new journey to realize second centenary goal. All localities' government department follow the guidance of Xi Jinping thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for new era, gain a deep understanding of the two establishments, and strengthen the 4 awarenesses and 4 confidences and the 2 protects. We will continue to fully act on the guiding principles of the 19th East National Congress and the plenary session of the party's 20th National Congress.
We stay true to the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability. We fully and faithfully apply the new development philosophy on all fronts, work to create a new pattern of development, promoted high-quality development, and ensure both development and security. As a result, we have made major achievements in economic and social development, which garnered recognition around the world. Economic strength reached new heights. China's GDP increased to 121 trillion yuan, registering an annual growth rate of 5.2% over the past 5 years. Over the past decade, the GDP has increased by almost 70 trillion yuan at an annual rate of 6.2%, achieving a medium-high rate of economic growth and also transited to high-quality development. The government revenue increased to 20.4 trillion yuan, and annual grain output remained steady at above 650 million metric tons for several consecutive years. The average yearly urban jobs growth hit more than 12.7 million, and foreign exchange reserve remains stable at above $3 trillion. These figures show that China's economic strength has increased significantly. The critical fight against poverty was won. Thanks to 8 years of continued efforts, close to 100 million poor rural residents out of poverty. That's a total of 832 impoverished counties, including more than 9.6 million poverty-stricken people relocated from inhospitable areas. We have thus, once and for all, resolved the problem of absolute poverty in China. Fruitful gains were made in scientific and technological innovation. We have made new breakthroughs in key technologies and core fields, and the spending on R&D increased from 2.1% to about 2.5% of GDP. The economic structure continued improved. The value added of high-tech manufacturing and of equipment manufacturing increased by annual average of 10.6% and 7.9% respectively. China's digital economy continued to grow in strength. The population of urban residents, permanent urban residents, rose from 60.2% to 65.2%. And the new drivers of growth developed at a faster pace. Infrastructure was further upgraded. The length of in-service high-speed railways increased from 25,000 kilometers to 42,000 kilometers. The expressway network expanded to 177,000 kilometers. And installed power capacity increased by more than 40%. Reform and opening up were deepened. We deepened reform and opening up across the world and created a new pattern of development. We further promoted supply-side structural reform and reform to streamline administration, delegate power, improve regulation, upgrade services, and a notable improvement has been made in the business environment. Joint efforts to advance BRI and also China play a key part in RCEP, and China's total volume of trade increased on an annual basis of 8.6%, reaching 40 trillion yuan. It has thus been the top global trader for many years running. The quality of the equal environment improved significantly. Energy consumption per unit of GDP dropped by 8.1%. And in cities at above the prefecture level, the average number of days with a heavy air pollution fell by over 50%. The living standards rose steadily, and the increase of the wages is in line with the increase of the economy, and also the basic old age insurance covers 1.05 billion people. Over the past decade, we have rebuilt more than 42 million housing units in run-down urban areas, and over 100 million people have moved into new apartments. After many years of meticulous preparation, we successfully presented the world with streamlined, safe, and splendid 2022 Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games, thus making great contributions to promoting the Olympic movement as well as solidarity and friendship among the peoples of all countries. Since COVID-19 struck more than 3 years ago, the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core has played the people and their lives above all else. It has boosted supplies of medical resources and materials and make every effort to ensure treatment of all patients, effectively safeguarded our people's health and safety, and improved and adjusted response policies and measures in light of changing conditions. The Chinese people have pulled through with fortitude and resilience and secured a major and decisive victory in the fight against COVID-19. All locality departments and organizations have made tremendous efforts, and people in various sectors have worked together to get through tough times, and all medical personnel have remained fearless in the face of adversity. And all people in their hundreds of millions have prevailed over many difficulties and challenges, made great sacrifice, and played their due part. It's not been an easy journey for anyone, but together we have overcome the huge challenge of COVID-19. As the pandemic not yet over, we must keep working to consolidate our achievements in both COVID-19 response and economic and social development. Fellow deputies, Over the past 5 years, we have fully implemented the decisions and plans of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core. The highlights of our work as follows. First, we developed new ways of conducting macro regulations to keep the economic operating within a proper range. In response to a succession of grave challenges, including mounting protectionism and the pandemic, we adopted new ways of conducting macro regulation, avoided over-reliance on investment as a means of achieving economic growth, and we step up range-based, targeted, well-timed, and precision regulation. We support by the macro policy while refraining from adopting a deluge of strong stimulus policies, and we work to ensure stability on 6 fronts and security in 6 areas. We pursue a proactive fiscal policy. The deficit was kept at a reasonable level over these 5 years. The deficit to GDP ratio remained at 3%, and we continue to improve our policies on large-scale tax and fee cuts. And we also to reduce the old one of the taxation and by establishing the new one. For the small enterprises, the minimum corporate income tax rate was cut from 10% to 2.5% in real terms. The 5 years, the tax cuts and the fee reductions respectively totaled 5.4 trillion yuan and 2.8 trillion yuan. This policy not only helped enterprises overcome difficulties and stay afloat, but also nurtured business growth and cultivated sources of tax revenue. On average, over 11 million market entities, including enterprises and self-employed individuals, were newly registered. And the central government met all of its annual targets for budgetary revenue, and national fiscal revenue also met the targets. We channeled more fiscal resources toward the local levels, with the share of transfer payments to local governments rising to about 70% of central government expenditures. And at all levels, government kept their belts tightened. And over 7% of government expenditures went toward ensuring the people's well-being. We continued a prudent monetary policy. We made flexible policy adjustments in view of new developments and gave more support to the real economy. The balance of loans to the manufacturing sector increased from 16.3 trillion yuan to 27.4 trillion yuan. Inclusive loans to MSMEs increased at an annual rate of 24%. And we saw that the RMB exchange rate floated with greater flexibility at an adaptive, balanced level. And we also safeguard that there's no major risks happened. We pursue an employment-first policy. Stable employment has remained a key indicator, and also we work hard to promote the policy in this regard. The ratio of enterprises' contribution to basic old age insurance was lowered from 20% to 16%. The National Social Security Fund was replenished to expand its scale from 1.8 trillion yuan to over 2.5 trillion yuan. We also implemented policies to support training and also support the entrepreneurship and innovation nationwide. We have held the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Week for 8 consecutive years. We also encourage job creation through business startups and new and flexible employment forms, which has also become an important source of employment and increased growth. We also carry out a 3-year action plan and also trained a lot of people. That's over 83 million. And for a country with over 1.4 billion people has kept employment stable, and such stability is a source of tremendous creativity.
Prices were kept generally stable, refrained from rapidly increasing the deficit by a large margin in response to shocks in printing an excessive amount of money. And this creates the macro conditions needed for stabilizing prices. The redoubled efforts to bolster agricultural production, ensure better linkage between production and sales, and manage reserve more effectively, ensure stable supply of agricultural products. We also have addressed shortage of coal and electricity to meet residential production energies. And for the past decades, the CPI has been kept at a low level of around 2%. That's been conducive to maintaining the order of the market economy and create leeway for macro policy implementation, and most importantly, a better meeting the basic living needs of our people. 2. We secure victory in a critical battle against poverty within the set time frame and consolidate and build on our gains and poverty alleviation. The hardest task in building moderately prosperous society in rural areas and impoverished regions in particular. We carry out the policy of target policy poverty alleviation with a focus on impoverished areas such as 3 regions and 3 prefectures. We weight policy support towards these areas and provide and address their biggest concern. And their local income has also been increased, and their condition has been substantially increased. We also have consolidate and build on our achievements in poverty alleviation, promote revitalization in rural areas, make sure that through our efforts, they will not return to poverty, and also we strengthen our support to key areas and help them to accelerate their growth and increase their income. 3. We deepen reform in key areas and crucial links to energize the market and stimulate social creativity. We continue to reform the transformation of a government and also make contribution to a well-functioning government. We have also continued to give access to market power. And since the introduction of the negative list system, the list has been shortened by 64%. We have also canceled delegated to lower authorities and empowered administrative approval for over 1,000 items, and the slash number of investment items subject to central government approval by over 90%. Number of industrial production permit categories been reduced from 6 to 10, and approval time for construction projects have been cut to no more than 120 working days. We carry out the institutional reform in business sector and introduced reform to separate out business license from certificate requiring starting business. We also improved the regulations and took stronger actions against monopolies, and now more than 90% of the government services can be accessed online, and over 200 high-demand services, including household certification and other transfer, can be handled online. And by the end of last year, there were over 52 million enterprises and more than 110 million self-employed individuals in China, and the total number of market entities have surpassed the 160 million mark. And as a result, the internal momentum for development has increased remarkably. We also promote the common development of enterprises on all forms of ownership. The tasks set out the 3 years action plan for SOE reform were completed, and the modern corporate structure were improved. And we also promote sound development of private business by removing hidden barriers of various forms. And we continue to reform the fiscal taxation and financial system, deepen reform of the budgetary management system, and boost budget transparency. We advance reform and to divide physical powers and spend responsibility between central and local government. 4. We fully implement the innovation-driven development strategies and improve and upgrade the industrial structures. The leading role of the technological innovation was reinforced. To give full play to the role of higher education institutions, research institutes. We launched a number of major scientific innovation projects that have efforts to secure breakthroughs in core technologies in key fields. We also leverage market-based mechanism to encourage enterprise innovations. But additional tax deduction for R&D expenses were increased on several occasions. This policy was extended to cover all eligible sectors on a temporary basis. We also set up accelerate the pace of equipment upgrading and technological transformation of enterprises, and provincial policies on accelerated depreciation of fixed assets were extended to cover the entire manufacturing sectors. We speed up the development of emerging economies and support development of platforms so that it can also boost the manufacturing as well as the consumption market. The made in China product quality has also been improved and more competitive. We expanded effective domestic demand and promote coordinated regional development and new urbanization.
To create a new pattern of development, we strive to expand consumption effective investment. Before the outbreak of the pandemic, consumption has become the primary driver of China's economic growth, and we promoted personal income growth and also the integration of both online and offline consumption, and also in a creative way to expand our effective investment and also to further facilitate the projects that are benefiting the people, and we also to encourage non-government capital to participate in the construction operation of such projects. We achieved a more balanced and coordinated regional development. We have seen that promoted large-scale development of the western region, the full revitalization of the northeast, the rise of the central region, and the trailblazing development in the eastern region. We promote development of the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, the development of the Yangtze Economic Belt, the Yangtze River Delta, and the Yellow River Basin, the Xun'an area. We continue to advance people-centered new urbanization, further to improve the function of cities, and restrictions also carry out on the permanent urban residence, and we adhere to the principle that housing is for living in, not for speculation. We established long-term mechanism in this sector. The urban infrastructure was improved, and a total of 167,000 old urban residential compounds were renovated, benefiting more than 29 million households. 6. We ensured China's food security and implemented the rural revitalization strategy. We improved policy to boost agriculture and also continue to increase the agricultural production to improve the per unit crop yield and the quality of grain. And we increased the area of high standard cropland by 30.4 million hectares. And we have fully secured the food supply of more than 1.4 billion people. Steady progress was made in rural reform and development. We supported the operation of the different forms of operation, and the more than 24,000 million rural households were rebuilt over the years. And we also further to pay the wage arrears owed to the migrant workers. 7th, we remained committed to opening up wider to the world and expanded international economic and trade cooperation to deliver mutually beneficial outcomes. We improved the higher standard imports and exports and give more favorable policies in this regard, and also established a batch of the overseas warehouses. And also, we simplified the customs clearance procedures and reduced the clearance time for imports and exports by 67% and 92%. The overall tariff level fell from 9.8% to 7.4% over the 5 years. We have seen steady increase in imports and exports, firmly support China's economic development. We also utilize the foreign investment and further improve the business environment for foreign investors, and market access for foreign investment was also expanded. Paddock Free Trade Zone were also further improved. A total of 21 parallel free trade zones has been established, and also we've seen a high-quality development of a Hainan Free Trade Port. We promoted high-quality Belt and Road cooperation and established a group of projects to boost connectivity and industrial capacity cooperation. We have seen that 6 free trade agreements were newly concluded or upgraded. And ODs help to promote trade and investment liberalization facilitation. 8. We strengthen environmental protection and pursue green and low carbon development. We stick to a policy that targeted, law-based, and scientific-driven approaches to deal with the climate. And in cities and above the prefecture level, air quality was good at excellent on 86.5% of the days, and the people enjoyed the good air quality and also the blue skies, clear waters, and lush mountains. We made steady progress in energy conservation and carbon reduction. We also carry out our plan in a well-conceived way to achieve carbon peak and carbon neutrality. We actively play an active part in cooperation on addressing climate change.
9. We took concrete steps to ensure the improvement of the people's well-being and accelerate development of social programs. Acting on a people-centered philosophy of development, we continue to increase input in areas important to the people's well-being. And right now, the annual budgetary spending on education is at over 4% of GDP and realizes a significant increase in spending per student. We saw to that compulsory education was provided, and the 9-year compulsory education rose from 93.8% to 95.5%. And the gross enrollment ratio for higher education grew from 45.7% to 59.6%. And this cap was a significant raise for government subsidies loans to college students. We continue to improve the basic medical supply and medical insurance. And we make basic medical and healthcare service available to the entire population. And it is a public good and make it easier for more affordable for people to access medical treatment. And on-the-spot settlement of cross-provincial outpatient and impersonal medical bills were realized, with over 57 million applications for settlement approved. We made bulk government purchase of medicines and medical consumables, and thus cutting medical bills by more than 400 billion yuan. The preservation and innovative development of traditional Chinese medicine was promoted in order to guarantee the health and protect the health of the people. We improved social security and social services, and central regulatory system for basic old age insurance fund was set up, and the urban and rural subsistence allowance benefits for entire group, unemployment insurance and workers' compensation was steadily increased. We refined the system management support for ex-service members and provide them with better service and benefits. We also improved the social system, strengthening ongoing money for low-income groups, and provide people in difficulty with promote assistance. Temporary assistance was provided 11 million times on average each year. We have firmly secured a safety net for meeting the basic needs of people in difficulty. People's intellectual and cultural lives were enriched, and core socialist values were fostered and observed. Public initiatives were launched to promote cultural and ethnic advancement. The press and publishing, radio, film, and television, literature, and art, philosophy, and social science, and achieving as well as other undertakings were developed. 10. We continue to perform government functions in accordance with the law on developing new ways of conducting governance and ensure social stability. We step up efforts to develop a law-based government to ensure economic and social activities. We exercise law-based government administration and serve the common goods for all. We worked to improve law regulation rules and submitted the 50 legislative proposals on the Standing Committee of the NPC for deliberation and formulated or revised 180 sets of administrative regulations. We also submit these laws and regulations for the oversight of the CPPCC. We handle with careful attention recommendations from NPC deputies and proposals by CPPCC National Committee members. We continue to make government affairs more transparent and support trade unions, communist youth league organizations, women's federation, and other people's organizations in better playing their roles. We develop new better forms of social governance. We advance the modernization of urban social governance and support the sound development of social organizations, humanitarian assistance, social work, volunteering services, and so on. We enhance the workplace safety. We also make progress in building up the national security system and capabilities. Fellow deputies, over the past 5 years, we in government at all levels faithfully implement the Party Central Committee's strategic plan in fully and rigorously party self-governance and launch both initiatives to raise awareness of the needs of stay true to the party founding mission and programs to study a party history and carry forward the great founding spirit of the party, act according to the 8-point decisions on improving work and conduct, and keep up our efforts to tackle pointless formalities, bureaucratism, hedonism, and extravagance, with emphasis on the first two, expanding on official overseas visits, vehicles for official use, and so on. We absolutely invest and strictly dealt with in system constructing government buildings, and the government are readily under oversight of the law, supervisory bodies, and the people. There is no shortcut to achieving economic and social development. Only solid work will deliver it. Over these 5 years, we followed the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for new era and fully implemented the party's basic theory, basic line, basic policy. Taking economic development as our central task, we strive to pursue high-quality development and tackle challenges and difficulties head-on, fulfilled our commitment with solid work, and made concerted effort to promote development. We took meeting the people's expectations as the goal of our governance, always keep the people uppermost in our mind, and put their interests above all else. We fully heeded their views and endeavored to gain a full understanding of their needs and spare no effort to solve the pressing difficulties and problems that concerning them the most. We adhere to the principle of seeking truth from facts with full respect for laws and resolutely oppose empty talks and boastfulness, window dressing, vanity projects, and rash and reckless moves. By carrying out these reforms, we aim to foster vitality. We applaud those who live up to their responsibilities, and also we respect the pioneering spirit of the people and keep all motivated, thus creating a powerful forces for advancing development. Fellow deputies, over the past 5 years, we created new ways to improve work related to ethnic groups, religious affairs, and overseas Chinese. We consolidated and developed socialist ethnic relations. We have also remained committed to the party's active leadership of the People's Armed Forces. A series of major achievements were made, and as a result, a number of significant changes took place in this domain. We made fresh progress in work related to Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. We also exercise effective overall jurisdiction over the two special administrative regions.
We conducted major country diplomacy with Chinese characteristics on France. President Xi Jinping and other party and state leaders visited many countries, attended online and offline many major diplomatic events, and China also hosted a number of major diplomatic events at home. And China, as a responsible major country, played a significant and constructive role in enhancing international COVID-19 cooperation and addressing global challenges. fellow deputies, we owe our achievements in these 5 years to the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, the sound guidance of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and the concerted efforts of the whole party, the armed forces, and the Chinese people of all ethnic groups. On behalf of the State Council, I would like to express sincere gratitude to all our people and to all other political parties, people's organizations, and the public figures from all sectors of society. I express heartfelt appreciation to our fellow countrymen and women in the Hong Kong and Macau special administrative regions, in Taiwan and overseas. I would also like to express heartfelt thanks to the governments of other countries, international organizations, and friends across the world who have shown understanding and support for us in China as we pursue modernization. While recognizing our achievements, we're keenly aware that China is still in the large developing countries, remain in the primary stage of socialism, with prominent imbalances and inadequacies in its development. And many difficulties and challenges still confront us. Uncertainties in the external environment are on the rise. Global inflation remains high. At home, the foundation for stable growth needs to be consolidated. Insufficient demand remains a pronounced problem. The expectations of private investors and businesses are unstable. SMEs and self-employed individuals face multiple difficulties in business and production operations, and are still the many institutional barriers hindering development. Our capacity for innovation needs to be further improved. We still have a long way to go to fill in or shore up the weak links. Some local governments have used one-size-fits-all approaches or taken excessive measures when implementing policies. Some are detached from reality or go against the public will or disregard the legitimate rights and interests of the people. Corruption remains a common problem in some fields, and we also need to give the importance and to the fields and suggestions that people give to us. We must face these problems and challenges squarely, make every effort to make improvements, and do all we can to live up to the people's trust. 2. Recommendations for the work of government in 2023. This year is the first year for fully implementing the guiding principles from the party's 20th National Congress. For the government to deliver, it's important under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core do the following. Follow the guidance of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. Implement the guiding principle from the party's 20th National Congress. Act on the guidance of the Central Economic Work Conference. Make solid progress in advancing Chinese modernization. Act on the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, fully and faithfully apply the new development philosophy on all fronts, and move faster to create a new pattern of development, promote high-quality development, give full consideration to both domestic and international imperatives, respond to COVID-19, and pursue economic social development in a more coordinated way, better ensure development and security, deepen reform and opening up in all respects, and boost market confidence, pursue the stability of expanding domestic demand, and deepen supply-side structural reform, give priority to ensure stable growth, employment, and prices, effectively prevent and diffuse major risks, promote a full economic recovery, effectively pursue high-quality growth, and increase economic output, keep working to improve people's lives, and also maintain overall social stability. These efforts will also set the stage for building a modern socialist country in all respects. The main projected targets for development this year are as follows. GDP growth of around 5%, around 12 million new urban jobs. Surveyed urban unemployment rate of around 5.5%. CPI increase of around 3%. Growth in personal income that is generally in step with economic growth. steady increases in both the volume and quality of imports and exports, a basic equilibrium in the balance of payments, grain output of above 650 million metric tons, continued reduction in energy consumption per unit of GDP and in the discharge of major pollutants, with priority on controlling fossil fuel consumption, and steady improvements in the quality of eco-environment. This year, it's essential to prioritize economic stability, and also policy should be kept consistent and targeted, and to create synergy for high-quality development. We should enhance the intensity and effectiveness of our proactive fiscal policy, and for DA policies, improve DA preferential tax and fee policies, and also extend its refined policy. We should also give more support to the science and technology, and the science-tech development should also help our countries to be more self-resilient in this sector. China has entered a phase of regular COVID-19 response in which prevention and control should be more targeted and well-conceived and more effective in order to protect people's health. This year, a new central government leadership will be elected. Going forward, the work outlined in the previous sector of this report related to economic and social development must be pushed forward. Now I would like to brief you on several key priorities. First, expanding domestic demand. We should give priority to the recovery and expansion of consumption. The incomes of urban rural residents should be boosted through multiple channels. We should also boost consumption of consumer services, and also encourage the non-government funds to join the major state projects, and also to shore up the weak links in order to stimulate private investment. Second, accelerating the modernization of the industrial system. We should, with a focus on the key industrial chains in the manufacturing sector, we pool the resources and make concerted efforts to achieve breakthroughs in core technology in key fields, and also promoted the digitalization of traditional industries and SMEs, and also to boost the cutting-edge technologies further developed, and also to promote the platform economy. Third, unswervingly consolidating and developing the public sector, and encouraging, supporting, and guiding development of the non-public sector. We enhance the core competitive of SOEs, and also protect the property rights of the private enterprises and the rights and interests of entrepreneurs. We encourage and support the private sector and the private businesses, and we should cultivate a cordial and clean relationship between government and business, and also we should compete and grow on a level playing field, and also to try our best to boost the market expectations and confidence. Fourth, intensifying efforts to attract and utilize foreign investment. We should take further steps to open up the modern services sector and ensure national treatment for foreign-funded companies. We should take active steps to see China join the CPTPP and other high-standard economic and trade agreements, and these to further support China's opening up. And with a vast and open market, China is sure to provide even greater business opportunities for foreign companies in China.
5. Effectively preventing and diffusing major economic and financial risks. We need to deepen reform and financial system, improve financial regulation, and see that all those involved assume their full responsibility to guard against regional and systematic financial risks. We should also prevent and diffuse local government debt risks. Stabilizing grain output and advancing rural revitalization. We should keep a total grain acreage at a stable level and promote production of oilseed crops and so on. We should improve the continuancy plan for ensuring the provision, and our achievement in poverty alleviation should be consolidated and expanded to prevent large-scale relapse into poverty. Rural development initiatives should be advanced. We must meticulously and effectively carry out work related to the extension of rural land contracts for an additional 30 years. 7. Continued transition to green development and pollution prevention and control should be intensified. We should also improve policies of green development, develop circular economy, promote efficient and intensive use of resources, advance energy conservation.
支持刚性和改善性。
8. Meeting people's basic living needs and development social programs, which will improve the housing support system, promote high-quality balanced development, urban-rural integration upon compulsory education, intensify efforts to deepen vocational education. We should improve elderly care service and refine supporting policies on childbirth. We should develop cultural programs and cultural sector. We should fully apply a holistic approach to national peace, security, and advance the Peaceful China's initiative to a higher level. Fellow deputies, we should, with a focus on forging a strong sense of community for the Chinese nation, uphold and improve the system of regional ethnic autonomy and encourage all ethnic groups to strive in unity for common prosperity and development. We should adhere to the party's basic policy on regional affairs. We should strengthen and improve our work related to Chinese national overseas to forge a powerful force for all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation, both at home and abroad, to work together to make remarkable achievements. We should fully implement Xi Jinping thinking on strengthening military and military strategy for a new era, our armed forces, and we need to focus on the goals of centenary of the People's Liberation Army in 2027. We should intensify military training and preparedness across the board. We should consolidate and enhance the integration of the national strategies and strategic capacities and step up capacity building in science, technology, and industry related to national defense. And we should strengthen the support between civilian sectors and the military. We should fully, faithfully, and resolutely implement the policy of one country, two systems, under which the people of Hong Kong and Mr. Hong Kong and Macau and Mr. Macau, both with a high degree of autonomy. We should uphold the stipulated in Chinese constitution the basic laws of two regions, and that Hong Kong and Macau are administered by patriots. We should support Hong Kong and Macau in growing their economy and improve the lives of people and maintain long-term prosperity and stability of the two regions. We should implement our party's overall policy for the new era on resolving the Taiwan question, adhere to the One China principle and the 1992 consensus, and take resolute steps to oppose Taiwan independence and promote reunification. We should promote the peaceful development of cross-strait relations and advance the process of China's peaceful reunification. As we Chinese and both on the Taiwan Strait are both one family and bound by blood, we should continue to encourage people on both sides of the strait to jointly promote the Chinese culture and advance China's rejuvenation. We should stay committed to an independent foreign policy of peace and to peaceful development and pursue friendship and cooperation with other countries, and on the basis of 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, we should remain firm in pursuing strategy of opening up for mutual benefit. And China stands ready to work with the international community to put into actions the Global Development Initiative and the Global Security Initiative and promote the shared values of humanity. Let us join hands to promote the building of human community with a shared future and safeguard world peace and regional stability. Fellow deputies, great achievements can only come from hard work, and bright future can only be secured through solid efforts. Let's rally more closely around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, hold high the great banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics, follow the guidance of Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and fully implement the guiding principles from the party's 20th National Congress. Let's forge ahead with perseverance and resolve promote sound and sustainable economic and social development. And let us strive to advance national rejuvenation on all fronts and build China into a great modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful. Thank you.
Ouvimos então aqui a intervenção do Primeiro-Ministro Li Keqiang, fazendo o relatório do Governo relativamente ao último ano e projetando aquilo que deverá ser este ano de 2023, com destaque para alguns números que aqui apresentamos, uma expectativa de crescimento do Produto Interno Bruto de 5% ao longo deste ano de 2023, um déficit orçamental de 3% do PIB e o crescimento da inflação na ordem também dos 3%. O Li Keqiang referiu também a criação de cerca de 12 milhões de empregos urbanos, empregos que se destinam essencialmente a jovens que terminam o ensino superior. No entanto, o Li Keqiang falou também de várias incertezas que cercam a economia chinesa, são incertezas relacionadas com a fraqueza da procura internacional, portanto, uma procura menor por parte das exportações da China nos mercados internacionais e também o aumento geral do nível de preços a nível mundial, nomeadamente ao nível das matérias-primas. Referiu-se também à diplomacia internacional da China, dizendo que é uma diplomacia com características chinesas e que ao longo dos últimos anos a China tem estado particularmente envolvida em organizações internacionais e que tem trabalhado de forma resoluta para salvaguardar a paz e a estabilidade internacional. Relativamente às duas regiões administrativas especiais de Hong Kong e Macau, o Primeiro-Ministro Li Keqiang referiu o reforço da jurisdição alargada sobre as duas regiões administrativas especiais e, quase na parte final deste seu relatório, referiu-se naturalmente ao princípio um país, dois sistemas, que é essencial para o governo das duas regiões administrativas especiais, mas falou também da necessidade de Macau e de Hong Kong serem governados por patriotas, por forma, e que também o governo central está empenhado em garantir a estabilidade social e o crescimento económico. Nós vamos agora voltar à conversa com a nossa colega da CCTV, Yan Tan Li. Uma vez mais, bom dia. A economia da chinesa ou melhor, a estabilidade da economia chinesa e o seu crescimento são essenciais para esta região do mundo.
Acabei de receber atualizações de várias agências de notícias internacionais falar sobre a expectativa do crescimento econômico da China. Como nós já previmos, o tópico econômico chamou mais atenção. De fato, antes de China lançar sua própria expectativa, as agências internacionais já têm elevado suas previsões para o desenvolvimento econômico da China. Em março, o Moody, Agência Internacional de Classificação, elevou sua previsão para o crescimento econômico da China para 5% neste ano e no próximo. Entrevistei recentemente também os oficiais das Nações Unidas e dos países da Ásia. Eles mencionaram que a China é o motor do desenvolvimento econômico mundial, é fundamental na cadeia de suprimentos internacional. Peças e componentes produzidos em países como Vietnã, Tailândia e Filipinas serão enviados para a China para processamento adicional antes de serem vendidos em todo o mundo. A recuperação da economia chinesa impulsionará a recuperação da cadeia industrial regional. Então, eu acho que eles já conseguiram mais informação sobre desenvolvimento econômico da China e como a China vai fazer durante esse relatório do governo chinês.
Muito bem, nós estivemos então aqui nesta emissão em direto. Eu aproveito para agradecer à nossa colega da CCTV, Yang Tan Lee, que esteve connosco durante esta manhã. Nós vamos encerrar a nossa emissão aqui no canal Macau da TDM. Vamos continuar a acompanhar naturalmente os trabalhos da Assembleia Nacional Popular e da Conferência Consultiva Política do Povo Chinês ao longo das próximas 2 semanas. Da nossa parte é tudo. Tenha a continuação de um muito bom dia na emissão do Canal Macau da TDM. Bom dia a todos.